What will you do for me when I have used my limbs in service of your vote? What will you do for me the day after, and the day after, and the day after that, and the days after that, and the days after those days, and the days after them, and now what? What will you do for me now? You expect for me to write a love ballad to the system, sing a song of freedom that ain't ever come, rewriting memory until all we have is forget, while this country forgets riots and repeats, forgets riots and repeats, forgets riots and repeats, forgets riots and repeat, dancing to the beat of white guilt that still centers the illusion of who you think you are. A country that seems to forget but never seems to regret, because reparations seem inconvenience to the myth of white benevolence. A broken record on an axis that has spun away from so many dreams. And I tell you that I cannot praise it. I cannot love a lover who does not love me. I cannot celebrate it, for my engagement with it has always been one at the threat of extinction. So, you tell me, what will you do for me when the sun has risen on the day after? What will you do for me when all of this is done? Tell me. What will you do for me when what I am demanding of you is to do more than put bodies on ballots, to love me beyond our common enemy, to understand that I am beyond your desire for yourself? What will you do for me the day after? Tell me. Go, vote, now. Time is of the essence. Go, do it now. Vote, time is of the essence. Go now, vote now. Time is of the essence. Yes, but watch. What happens after I try to scoop my tears back into my eyes, using my hands that tremble with fear, hands that can't hold them, hands that cling together, praying that maybe this time you will love me beyond what I can do for you? What can you do for me beyond thinking of yourself? Yes, there, go, vote. Yes, now. Fear is the only thing that the country has given some of us. An umbilical cord around the throats of a new nation. Terrorism, its doctrine. Genocide, its delivery room. Violence threatening to hang them at any time. I wail, lament, crying for freedom, crying beyond it to liberation, to sever the shackles of oppression. There are bodies on ballots, limbs, lips, hips, wombs, tears, black bodies, indigenous bodies, women bodies on these paper tariffs, blood spilling like ink from trees, seeping into the streets, flames sticky with memory while the country attempts to forget. If I join you in voting, will you join me in this fight? If I join you in voting, will you still know there is more to do, or will you think you've done enough? If I join you in voting, how will you love me beyond a ballot that is cast to save yourself? Will you demand oppression die? Will you demand white supremacy cease? Will you demand a better world beyond systems and commemorative gestures? Voting is harm reduction, that's what you say. Voting is harm reduction, that's what you tell me. Voting is harm reduction, forgets riots and repeats. Will you join me in ending white supremacy and dancing and offering up thanksgiving to black gods on racism's grave? Imperialism won't save us. Or will you, after I have cast my vote, cast me out? If you have learned your lesson, then let us walk to the ballot box together. But do not be angry if your betrayal causes me to burn this all into ceasing to be. What is your commitment to me beyond the commitment to yourself? Will you still tell me my voice matters when the vote is done? And the police beat the bodies of my people. And the government tells us crumbs are better than feast. When the laments of our mothers and wails of our fathers are called radical and too inconvenient to honor. When war pays no heed to civility and wields the sword of violence and greed. When black trans bodies lay discarded in streets and the blood of our siblings scream against our tormentors. Will it tell me, will you think what I want is worthy of your attention then? Will my vote still matter when I cry freedom? When I rage against rape, when I desire to pull down the illusion of democracy and raise up the truth of liberation? Will it? Will it matter when I call your white families into account and demand you leave them to rot? Their bodies on ballots. Yes, there, go, vote, now, forgets, riots, repeats, voting as harm reduction. That's what you tell me. But tell me, will you love me the day after? Or will you be angry with me when I remind you just what you said? You call me righteous as I demand we get rid of a tyrant. So I must ask, what will you do for me when my tears have not dried and I'm still weeping? Because the tyrant is also you.